Hi guys, John with you, and it's time now to get started on the World War One Mk.IV. Yep, it's time to get started on it. I have my coffee, so I'm ready to start. So, make sure you have everything ready. You have all your little bits and pieces, your glues ready, your snips, sprue cutters, whatever you use, knives, all that. Make sure it's all ready, so you're not running around the place getting all your bits and pieces together. And of course you need your instructions. So we'll start off. What am I going to get done first? So we'll just turn the camera around, go onto the bench, we'll have a look at how I'm going to start, and time to get started. Now, as you can see, I'm all ready to go. Like I said, I have my coffee, so I'm all ready to go. We're going to start off here. Now, there isn't very many steps in each section, right? We call these sections 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. We call them sections, and these then are steps, right? Just to clarify things before we get started. Right, so in section 1, couple of small steps to do. We're making up the fuel tank box. Okay, the fuel tank. We're getting that ready. It's only a couple of pieces on that, so we'll do that much. We're mounting it onto a back plate. Then we're on with the motor. Okay, there's a couple of bits and pieces to go into the motor, and then we're getting the battery thing ready. So I'll get all them done. What else have we got? Yeah, and then we're fitting the motor onto the base, and then we're adding bits and pieces. So I get as far as here, right? I get the motor fitted onto the base. I get that much done. We'll come back then. We'll have a look at that. We'll see what that much looks like. Okay. I mean, the usual quick discussion as to how that went. Any problems or anything like that. Okay. Okay, so as you see, they're all marked off in the green, so I'm after getting all that done. We'll have a look first at this battery box. Okay, or not battery box, fuel tank box. Why do they call it a fuel tank box? I suppose it's a box shape and it's a fuel tank, so we'll just call it a fuel tank. So the fuel tank is done anyway. There's a couple of little bits and pieces to put on the door. There's a poly cap in there. Box went together very, very nicely, very, very easily. Perfect fit. No cleanup really involved, just bar the sprue gate cleanups, and everything just slotted into place absolutely beautifully. Okay, so we've got that much done. We've got this piece here, which is the battery holder. That's all assembled. We have to put in 2 terminals either side of it, and then these pieces then push down into place, and it kind of locks them in position. So battery terminal all ready to go, and we've done our motor as well. Okay, a little bit of grease and all put onto the wheels. It comes with the grease, a little tube of the grease. That's all fitted. The motor is mounted. It moves up and down, and I thought that it was loose until I realised that there's a little kind of a hinge thing there, so maybe it's for making sure that it's fitted nice and easily. Why it does that, I do not know, but it's done anyway. No real wiring done as yet, but that all went together very, very nicely, very, very easy, very, very easy indeed. Now they do give you a little screwdriver. Where am I after putting it? Where's the little screwdriver? Where are you, little screwdriver? Have I got it in here in my box of bits? I put all the little electronic pieces into one of these things just to keep them all together. I can't find my little screwdriver. Basically, it's close to useless. as in not quite useless, but very, very close to it. Where's the little bugger? I had it there 2 minutes ago. I probably got annoyed with it and chucked it somewhere, knowing me. I just found it really bloody well awkward, to be quite honest with you. Horrible little thing. Anybody that is doing this, fit the switch part first. Okay, there's the switch. Fit the switch part first, and then attach the motor. Otherwise, as you can see, you can't really get to the screw because it's hidden underneath there. And if you try and if you fit this piece first, then you'll have to take it all off. And the reason I know this is because I did that. Okay, so then the switch part on first. Now it also tells you here to put on the stickers, you know, on and off. But I haven't done that, and the reason I haven't done that is because I got to paint it. I'll put the stickers on afterwards, alright. I won't put the warning sticker on there, but I will put on the on-off one, okay? Why will I even bother? Because once it's, you know, you're going to know that it's on or off. But anyway, they give you the stickers anyway for it. So that's as far as we've gotten. Okay, so we're halfway through step 5. So the rest of step 5 is we're attaching one of the sides, kind of a central holding piece there, sort of maybe is to keep that all square and for attaching the sides onto. Don't know. It's there anyway. We're screwing things together and everything else like that. Alright, we're also putting on here, it's 2 bits of Velcro straps. Okay, they also get mounted onto the bottom of the battery compartment. We've got to attach the wires onto the battery compartment. Now, for attaching the wires, they show you here using a piece of rubber. Like, you put the slide piece of rubber over the wire. Wrap the wire around it. There you go. You get a closer look at that, and then push the little rubber grommet up onto it. Now they give you a little piece of rubber, which is very, very handy actually. You use them here on this as well. Okay, they give you a piece about that long. You just cut it to whatever size you want it. So that's a handy little idea if you don't, like myself, if you don't have a soldering iron, which I don't have. I don't have a soldering iron. The reason I don't have a soldering iron is because I don't know how to solder. Yes, I do not know how to solder. I've never done it before. Well, I have done it before and failed miserably at it. But I don't have all the bits and pieces for soldering, so forget about that anyway. So we're fitting the sides on. The fuel tank piece goes in there. We've got another front section goes in here on the front there. That'll sort of help to keep everything nice and square. Okay, so we'll get all that done. What else have we got over here? Yeah, we're going to fit in the other side now as well, and some gears and things. Alright, so I'll get it as far as step 7. We'll come back then, we'll have a look at that. Okay, and as our usual, we'll have a quick talk about how everything went. So far so good. We haven't had any problems yet. We'll see how it goes from there. Right, so what we're going to get done now is the rest of step 5, step 6, and step 7. Okay, so I'll get them done, we'll come back, we'll have a look at them, and again our little discussion on how everything went, whether it was easy, whether it was difficult, any problems, fit issues, or if everything just fitted beautifully. We'll find out. We will find out. Okay, so I get them done. I'll be back to you in figures 2. Okay, so I'm after getting as far as step 9 done. So finished up off step 5. Okay, we're after getting step 6 done, step 7, step 8, and step 9. And that's what we end up with. Okay, so we've got our usual, or sort of typical, should I say, rhomboid shape. We've got our motor installed, the battery is installed. Okay, all the wiring is done. As you can see. Okay, and we've got the top piece done as well, right? No, there was no problems with that. Everything went in perfectly. A little bit fiddly in places, you know, getting this sort of lined up and stuff, but no problems, none whatsoever. Okay, so we move on. Okay, so the top fits onto that, and you don't glue it in because it gives us that little symbol there. Okay, see that little symbol there? That means it doesn't get glued in. It pops in. Okay, so we can do that now while we're watching. So that pushes forward there, pops down there into a little poly cap in there. So we've got the top installed, right? So with that for anyway. So we don't have to worry about step 10, we've got it done. Okay, and we're back with poly caps again here. Okay, on step 11, right? Sorry, get it down to put it into view, John. Okay, so we're doing step 11, step 12, and the dreaded step 13. Okay, so 11 and 12 are easy enough. We've just got the panels in. We're making sure that they've got their poly caps so they can all be fitted on and easily removed. But step 13 is the wheels, and as you can see there's quite a lot of them. We've got to make 30 of the small ones and 24 of the multi-stack ones. There's 4 pieces for each of those, 2 pieces for those, so it's 24 and 30, that's 54 wheels we've got to make. Okay, so I'll get all that done and we'll come back then and we'll have a look at that. So there's still plenty more to do, believe me, plenty more to do. So I'll get them done, we'll come back and we'll have a look at that. Alrighty then, so we're after getting that done, step 12, step 10 to step 13. Okay, we've put the top on. We're after making up our sides, and we've got all the wheels done as well. Took me ages to get the wheels done, I must admit. It took me ages to get the wheels done. Here's our sides done. Okay, that's what we got to do. What we had to do. Okay, but you get a poly cap in there, put the little cover on, glue it into place, and there's a little fiddly thing there as well. Right. Quite easy, no problems whatsoever. 2 of them, and we've those 2 as well. Okay, these polycaps here I presume are for holding on the sponsons, you know, the big side things with the shooty things on them. Right, so we got them done, so we can put them aside. Don't need them for a few minutes. Okay, and our wheels, we had 2 different types, right? We had this type here, right? There's 2 parts to that. We have one part was just, say, that little circle, and the other one was one of those little circles with a sticky outy thing. Okay, quite easy to do, no problems with them whatsoever. And then we have these ones, right? No, there was no problem with these. It was just that they were just time consuming. They really, really were. There was a bit of cleanup on each of them. Okay, it even shows it here on that, right? Go, zoom in there and fix yourself up there, camera. Come on, there we go. Right, as you see, just a little bit of cleanup. There was a little bit of cleanup on each of those. There was just little sticky outy things, and just to be kind of quick clean up with a knife. Plus you had all the connection points that were on the wheels themselves as well. So there was loads of little clean up things. So what I did was I cut all these pieces off first, say that the small circle ones. Cut all them off, cleaned them all off, put them aside. Then I did, there's two different ones of that. There's a part 4 and a part 3. So I took all the 3s off, cleaned them all up, put them aside, did all the 4s, put them aside, and then assembled them. I found it much easier to do because I was going to do it. I mean, I did it one at a time first. I did 2, and it took me so fucking long. I said, look, just sort of do it like an assembly line. So I assembly lined them, and they worked in their grind. Oh, there they are anyway. There's our little wheels, right? They're the size of them, as you can see from my fingers. They are friggin' tiny, right? But there was, like I said, there wasn't any problem with them. They were just time consuming. Okay, so I must admit they did take a while because you had 24 of this type, and you had 30 of the other ones. Right, so that's done anyway. So it's out of the way. So all the time consuming stuff is done. The thing about tanks and armour, isn't it? The wheels are always the time consuming parts of it. Right, so next up, what have we got? We got step 14 where we're putting on our front gears. Right, and we've got 2 little posts to put in. They'll be the posts for the wheels, and it's like once it gives that little symbol there, that means we got to grease up our poles. Yep, now I always like greasing up my pole, I must admit. I give it a good greasing. Yep, I gave my poles a good greasing. So anyway, got to grease up these little poles, put on the 2 gears, little cover piece, 2 screws. Seems fairly straightforward, and I think we got to do the exact same then to the other side. Is it telling us to do that yet? No, that'll be over here in step 17. So we're working on one side at a time, right? So we grease up our poles, do our gears. That's step 14. Right, step 15 is we're adding all our little wheels. Now, as you can see from that, they're not all sort of one of these, then one of these, then one of these. One, you know, there's shall we say they're not all uniform. Okay, so you got to follow that that thing there. Now it's telling us to use a little bit of sellotape to kind of keep the wheels together. I'm going to try it without using the sellotape. After watching 1 or 2 videos of people making this kit and his hobby headquarters, he made the one, but the one he made now, I must admit, had the 2 motors in it and a big remote control module, the whole lot. An expensive kit. You're paying for a lot there because you're getting the controller and everything in it. And believe it or not, I went actually looking for that kit and I can't find it anywhere, so it must only be available in the US. I haven't seen it available over here. I have checked all the sites, so can't get one with the double motor. Here's with the single motor one. So we got to do all our wheels anyway. We're going to follow the pattern there for the wheels, and it's telling us there again, the grease symbol. We got to grease up our poles. More pole greasing. Okay. And that's what I'm saying about the sellotape there. It tells us to use a bit of sellotape there, and then you're attaching these. This side, this large piece here gets glued on. This one here goes on with polycaps. Okay, so you can remove that and get at the gears if needs be at a later date. Alright, so we'll get them done anyway. We'll come back then, and as usual we'll have a quick look at it. Now, just before I go and get them done, I'm after sticking a battery in, as you can see. Just wanted to test the motor because once everything was wired up, I said, "Oh, I wonder does the battery will it work? How does it work? Will it work?" And yay, it works. Okay, easy. Right, so that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to playing with it. Yep. The big child in me tells me I want to play with it. So I'll get them done, and I will take my time with them. Anything like this, do you mean that you're meant to kind of get it finished? I tend to rush things, and I end up making silly little fucking mistakes. So I'm going to try not to make any mistakes. I'm going to do it all up, take my time, nice and slowly, and get them done. Okay, so we're getting step 16 done. Oh, sorry, up as far as step 16 done. We'll come back then, we'll have a look at that. Now, I just want to double check that. Actually, we won't. We'll get as far as step 19, right? Because up as far as 16, up as far as 19, there, shall we say. 14, 15 and 16. 14, 15 and 16 is the exact same as 17, 18 and 19. It's just on the other side. So I'll get all that done, right? Get up as far as them. We'll come back, and as usual, we'll have our little look and talk about everything. Okay, so I'll get them done and be back to you. So I will. Fair play to me. Okay then, so I'm after getting steps 14, 15, 16. Next page. 17, 18 and 19. Okay, I'm after getting all of them now completed. So here we are. Okay, we've got our it's looking good. Okay, it's starting to look like a World War I tank. Okay, apart from the big battery sticking out in the middle of it. But once the sponsons go on and all that, it'll be lovely, absolutely beautiful, won't it? Yes. That's great. I'd ask yourself a question and answer it again. So anyway, here's all our wheels. Okay, they're all in place and they all move as well. Okay, they all work, right? Now, what have we got to do next? Oh, getting back to that. No problems with that whatsoever. It says here to use a bit of sellotape to keep them all in place while you're putting all that down. But if you use the grease on the stalks, shall we say, you grease your poles. Once you grease your poles and you put the wheels on, you could even turn it upside down; they won't fall off because the grease is actually holding them on. Okay, taking the motorbikes outside again. So anyway, once the grease goes on, that'll hold them in place, and you can work away, no problem. You don't need the sellotape there for doing any of that. Okay, so that was that anyway, and putting on the sponsons, the sides there, no problems whatsoever. Okay, so step 20. Step 20 has us making up the main drive sprockets and the we'll call them return roller sprockets as well, sure. You know, the main sprockets, gears, whatever you want to flick and call them. Okay. So in step 20 we're getting them all made up. Okay, there's two of these big silvery wheels. There's a plastic gear, 3 screws, little kind of locator lugs on them, so that'll pop into that and then stick in the screws. Everything went together now quite nicely, no problems with that whatsoever. Then it says apply grease to G2 and PP and pipe, making sure not to lose them during assembly. Okay, so we got to add a couple of more little bits and pieces into those. Okay, and a little pipe thing. Once we've got them made up, then we're fitting them to the tank. Okay, that's in step 21. In step 22 then we're adding the little front machine gun there, towing hitch, a couple of other little dull-dyedy bits and pieces. Here then we're putting little caps on the axles, shall we call it, and the front piece there. Now it tells us here to use apply synthetic rubber cement. Now, to be honest, quite honest with you, I haven't the faintest idea what synthetic rubber cement is. The only thing I can think of, because of what they're being used for, that you can take them off afterwards if you've got to do any maintenance on the vehicle itself. I suppose white glue would do for that, you know, a bit of PVA glue. So funnily enough, PVA glue might happen to be synthetic rubber cement. I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to use anyway. I'm going to use PVA glue on those. Okay, yeah, we get that far. we'll get these 3 steps done, and we'll come back then, and as usual we'll have our look at it, discussion, see how everything went okay, and everything's gone perfectly so far, and it's been a TAMIYA. I can't see any problems with it, but we'll go ahead anyway, and we'll come back to you, and we'll see what all that looks like when it's all together, and how it all works. Okay. Alrighty then, as Ace Ventura would say. Okay, here we are. Step 20's done. I'm after making up my 4 of these little what would we call them? We're going to call them sprockets, gears, sprockets. We call them sprockets. Sprockets. Made up our 4 sprockets. Okay, and we're after attaching them. Okay, the little barrels go in here and fiddly little things. Follow the instructions. They're very, very straightforward and very, very simple, and everything just slots into place. It is so easy. It might look a little bit complicated, but you know, it really, really is so easy, so easy. Okay, then we fitted the front machine gun. Okay, that's now movable. Okay, and we also fitted the front towing hitch, and we fitted these parts here. Now I used a bit of, you know, like I said I was going to. Okay, just put it into a little bit into a cap there, and I used a little hairy stick there, and I painted it on, and I stuck in my bits. I have these attached here, and here, using the bit of PVA glue. Now, like I said, it calls it here, it says apply synthetic rubber cement to the pieces showing by this mark. This will enable parts to be moved at a later point for maintenance. Okay, and I know that by using PVA glue on plastic, it'll hold it in place, but it also makes it that you can kind of pop it off easy enough. It doesn't melt it together, it kind of glues them together all right, but it is easy to remove them at a later stage if needed. Okay, so here we are. Okay, here's our gears in place. Alright, or sprockets, should I say. Now, as you say, like I did say, there's a battery in that, so we'll just as you can see, everything is working there. Okay, alright, now happy enough with all of that. Now I know in the video there, I was just looking at that because I have the computer right in front of me, it looked as if the sprocket was kind of jerking. It wasn't. That's the video. It was actually going around perfectly at a nice even pace. Right, now let's move on. Right, step 23, we're making up the breech and all that for the main gun. Okay, part 24 is we're attaching the barrel, the breech parts and all that to it. Okay, we're adding this sides and underside. Okay, just all the little the sight for it, and the little shield. Okay, so basically we're making up the gun. Okay, for that. Now, does it say? Yeah, we have to make 2 of these. Okay, we have to make 2 of these. That's for our guns. Okay, our gun mount, we have to make 2 of these. Right, so we're basically making up 2 of the guns, the main guns. Right. Now, not to complicate things a little bit too much. Okay, I'll do step 23, 24 and 25. We get the guns made up, so we'll have our guns now. They'll look like that for a finish, hopefully. That's what we're striving for. So I'll get them all made up, and we'll come back. Same again, quick look at it. Were they hard, were they easy? You know, any problems found along the way, and we'll have a look at them. Okay, so I'll get them done, come back and we'll have a look. Okay then, step 23, 24 and 25 all completed now, so I have my little gun mounts, shall we say. Okay, no problems with them, they all went together quite easily. bar this piece here, okay, the circular piece. Now, I didn't really have any problems with it per se. It's just that here's one that I did know yesterday. Did take a little bit of sorry, here we are. Did take a tiny little bit of filling. As you can see, that's been filled and sanded, but it all works now. It works perfectly. Just a tiny little bit of filling there and that. And here's one I'm literally just after finishing. Okay, and as you can see, it just wants to. It's meant to separate for some weird reason. It just wants to come apart. Now, it's after settling up now. It's grand. In the couple of minutes that it took for me to get everything ready, it's after fixing itself, shall we say? But yeah, you know, it is a perfect fit. The gun is a perfect fit in there. It was just fiddly, okay, getting these things together. Once that glue now sets, and what I'll do is I'll leave it basically till a good 24 hours and then just sand it off, just so it looks like that one there, because once you paint it then you won't notice any of that at all on it. But as you can see from the two of them side by side, just needs a little bit of sanding, that's all. A little bit of sanding and it should be grand in. It should be lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, let's carry on. Now, what have we got? We're onto the Sponsons. Okay. Now, it's all in one step, but it doesn't actually look too hard really, to be quite honest with you. Okay, first of all, we're fitting in machine guns into it. This is basically just showing us what this piece here is, so it's not all too complicated, and that's just showing you the position there for the ring and in what way it's to go, what it looks like, how to be fitted. Okay, so we've got these two rings, an inner and an outer, and the machine gun then in the center, and that's literally all that is. Now it looks a lot more complicated, but once you sort of study it and go, oh yeah, that's actually quite straightforward, right? So we do that, okay. Then we're sort of fitting, we've got this piece here then, right? So then what we're doing is we're fitting E11, which is this kind of a basin piece, right? We're fitting a polycap into that and a cover, and then a little base piece into that. So that'll all sit in then together, which will make up this unit here, and then just pop in the gun, right? And the gun doesn't get glued in because it's going to be movable, hence the polycap. Okay, and then we're just putting on a back with the door and the top. So it's actually quite simple. It's pretty straightforward, nothing really exciting in that. And then we are repeating it for the right hand side. Okay, so we've got a left hand side and right hand side sponsons, right? So I'm going to get them done and I'll come back to you. I probably won't finish them off until tomorrow. I'll do one with this one, get everything ready then for this one. Tomorrow they give that a sanding, make sure everything fits in nice and neatly, because as it even again here now, see, it has a tendency to kind of there we go. There's a tendency to kind of twist itself, right? And because of the way of the shape of that, you can't really. I mean, if I put a clamp on that, that's going to make them separate even more. And I can't think of how I'm going to clamp them, other than sort of sit here for about 20 minutes pushing them together like that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of just get it as close as I possibly can, and then just leave it settled and send it off. Okay, so I'll get the sponsons done, come back then and we'll have a look at the sponsons. Okay, so bear with me, I'll get them done and we'll come back and we'll have a look at them. So it's going to take me tonight to get them done, because like I said, I work at kind of an hour or two in the evenings, so I get it done anyway. Okay. Alrighty then. Alright, we're on step 26 and step 27. Okay, so step 26, made up the little machine gun there. Just have to fit the front of it basically onto that. That was it. That's all you could do. Then fitted it. You put this ring first, then second, then third. It even tells you there 1, 2 and 3. Right, then you make up the mounting for it. I found it very easy. It literally slots perfectly in. It's beautiful, beautiful fit altogether. And glue down the sides there. The only thing I had a problem with, there's a sort of this circle here is a little raised ridge. Oh no, for that one it was perfect. That one it was okay. It was for when we come over here to the tops actually. Right. On this one here, inside of that section there, right, there's a little, it's practically the same as that. There's a raised ridge around it, and it's for to fit that to kind of slot into to make to make it go around. And I couldn't get it kind of comfortable to fit on at all, no matter what I did. So I just shaved it off, fitted the top on, no problems. Believe me, no problems whatsoever. So I didn't really worry too much about that. Okay. That was when I was making up that one. Then for the right hand side, exact same again, no problems. When it came to this piece here, I just shaved it off. I didn't even bother trying test fitting it or anything like that. Fitted on grand, everything hunky dory. So let's have a look at them now. Right. Here is the left one. Is it? No, here's the right hand side. At the right, hold on, now have them upside down. Upside down. Yep, this is the left one. Okay. Right. There's our gun. It goes up and down, and the turret moves. Okay. These are the machine guns. Okay. There's nothing on the inside of them, but they do give something on the inside of them. So I don't know why. I suppose it's just an exercise. If you want to go painting them up and make them look good, you can, because you can't see them. Okay. You can see light through there, but once it's on the vehicle, it's black in there, so you can't see anything. Doesn't matter if you wanted to do it as a painting exercise, then work away, and remember, it's your kit, do what you want to do, I'm not going to bother. I'll save all the painting for the outside. Okay. And the right one is basically the reverse of that, exactly the same. Okay, your gun goes up and down, and everything works nicely. Okay, so step 28 has us fitting the right hand side, and step 29 has us fitting the left hand side. So we can do them now. We'll do them live on camera. Okay. It'd be handy if I just held it the right way, I suppose, wouldn't it? Right, little hook on that, pops in there. Perfect, nice little snug fit in that. This one here, same again. Pop in there, into our two little, what do they call them again? Polycaps. And there we go. Right. So it's starting to come together. It is starting to come together. Looking good, looking good. Happy enough with that now. I won't go singing songs, I promise. Alright, there's also a couple of little pieces to go on with those. Alright, so I won't take it off just yet. It's just two here. A1. There's one on either side. Okay, so just two little cleats or whatever they call them, U-bends, U-bolts, shackles. That's what they're called, shackles. Okay, so just have two shackles to put on. So I'm going to put them on in a second. You don't have to see me putting them on. Cutting them off the screw, wasting your time and all that. So next, what are we on to? We're on to the exhaust. these pieces here, it's like to say a box or something by the looks of it. I don't know until I have it made. Okay, so we'll get them done. We'll come back, we'll have a look at it, and then we'll be on to the tracks. Okay, so like I said, we'll do those, because I have a funny feeling I was looking at that and I wasn't looking at the screen, so I probably didn't show you what I was going to do. The exhaust and this little box thing at the back, just in case I was talking away to myself there and showing you that or an angle that you couldn't see. That wouldn't be the first time, sure it wouldn't. No. So anyway, lads, I'll get those done. Step 30. Come back, we'll have a look at what step 30 is. The exhaust there and the this boxy type thing at the back, and then we're on to the tracks again, like I said. Okay, quick little break there. I'm after getting all these done now. Went on very easy, very easy, I must admit. Box again, another one of those little fiddly things. It went in easy, and I say fiddly as in I was having problems with it. I should have done it it was just me. It's just me. These two side pieces go on very nicely. There's a nice flat piece there, so a bit of glue in there either side. They pop in nicely, and then you put the bottom on and then the top. I kind of left these two on that little bit too long before I kind of put on the bottom, so when it came down to me moving them around, I had to kind of adjust them slightly. Yeah, I kind of just made it fiddly, shall we say. Made it fiddly. We won't talk anymore about it. Got it on anyway. We'll have a quick look. Okay. Here's our exhaust, as you can see, and that little box there on the back. Right? And the back of the exhaust as well. It comes down and over like that. Right? Okay. So that's now done. Excuse me. Right, we're on now to the tracks. Okay. With the tracks, we've got to make 87 track links per side. Okay. And the tracks, it tells you here that they snap together as shown. Okay. So then you make up your tracks and you fit your tracks. Right. So let's do it. We'll do it here. Okay, here are the tracks. Now I'm just get another bit, just a bit more light onto the subject, and we'll show you how easy it is with these tracks. Now I did it on the unboxing. I did a couple of links. We'll do it again here now like this, right? Now, if you see one bit is raised, and it goes into the flat, then raised and flat, right? So if you kind of slightly line it up, right, flat goes over there, down onto the little pin, right? So you want to get it over there, down onto the pin, and bottom it just falls into place. Simple as that, right? So we've got to make 87 per side, and in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one set. Okay, here's one set of tracks. Right, nice and easy. That's one set. And ta-da! There's a second set. Right. So there's our tracks. 87 links per side. Now it's telling us to fit our tracks, but yeah, sure, we might as well, because we got to do the track tensioning, don't we? But to do the track tensioning, that means then, I'll show you. Right. Once you do, it basically tells you to do the track tensioning. In other words, you put your tracks on. Okay, you can loosen the screw here, push that up. That's why they tell you when you're putting this piece on, that sprocket in, to push it right back to the end. Okay, so Let me show you here what we're saying. See, it's got a couple of millimeters there that shaft can come forward. Okay, by coming forward it means it tightens up the track. Now, if you put on the track and tighten it up, and then go fitting these covers here with white glue, will it affect in the painting? No, it shouldn't, because you'll be able to kind of, yeah. I mean, because I watched Andy's hobby headquarters when he did the painting, right? What he basically did was he left the tracks on when he got down to the main coats, right, and then the base coats. And when he wanted then to do the tracks on their own, he popped off the tracks and then painted the tracks and then put the tracks back on. I've seen other people doing it then, and what they do is they leave the tracks off, they mask around this full thing, and then they can paint away, paint the tracks separately, and then put the tracks back on. Now, which would be the better way to do it? I suppose by leaving the tracks off and then masking would be the better way to do it, because you're not ending up with so many layers of paint on your tracks. But would you once you have the track tensioning done, are you able to remove the tracks, or will they be too tight? I suppose there's only one way to find out, is to put the tracks on, tension them up to where they're not too loose but not too tight either, and then basically see, can I take them off? Wouldn't that be it? I'll go ahead and I'll do that, right? I'll set the tensioning. I'll come back onto you and we'll see, can we take off one of the tracks. How's that? We'll do the tensioning on one side and we'll do the other side. I'll show you doing it on the other side. Okay, so I'll get the tracks on. I'm telling you, I don't want to take too long on a video, do you know what I mean? You don't want to waste time in doing silly little things. So I'll break it, I'll put on break the video, I'll put on the tracks, do the tensioning on one side and come back and we'll do it the other. Okay? Okay, I'm after doing the track tensioning now at that side. Okay, you see the track is nice and tight. Whereas this side, it's still pretty loose. Okay, it's loosey goosey. Alright, so make sure it's in the grooves. Loosen. Can I just zoom out here now? I'm actually zoomed in a bit. No, I'm not. I have to bring the camera back out just a little bit there, just so we can. Right. So it's loosen the nut. Kind of push the whole thing forward. Tighten it back up again. Oh, I barely moved that. But like the other side, I barely moved the other side as well. Yeah, that's just still actually quite loose. A bit loose, too loose. I have to adjust again. I keep being afraid that if I move, if I push that up there, it's going up on the inside, outside. Oh, it's gone up on the inside as well. As you see, that's adjusted about halfway, and that is still very, very loose. Isn't it? Or is it too loose? How much have we got on this side? Oh, we've got the same, but this side there, it's actually kind of quite elasticy to a certain degree. We'll just do a little quick test here now. So, like I said, I have that in it. I'll put my hand down. Well, we got walkage. Okay, it'll work anyway. So we're happy with that. We leave it at that. No, it's not going to go sort of major driving. I'd be in fear of the tracks coming off, and they look tight enough anyway, you know. So I'm happy with them. Happy with them. So now I got to glue on these here. These 4 pieces. They're just 4 little covers there. Little sort of plates that go over the track tensioning system. That would be in the real Mk.IV, like in the real Mk.IV, would be a case that you'd have a nut there that you tighten up. Right. After that, then, what are we on to here? We're attaching beam rails, okay, for the rail there for our unditching beam. Okay, so we've got the front section and the rear section and the top. Okay, that's step 32 and step 33. I'll do both those. I'll get them done. We'll come back and we will have a look at them. Okay, we'll come back and we'll have a look at them, see what everything comes up like. Right, so bear with me. I'll be back with you. Okay, ookily dookily. I'm after getting step 32 and 33 done, so I'm after getting the supports there for the rails. They're in place. The big long rail and the little bits there at the front and the back. Now, I also made up the tow cable, right? Cut the thing to the proper length and all that, glued it all together. It looked freaking horrible, right? But I persisted, I put it into place and everything else, and I didn't like it. And then fucking the glue had all set, so I just literally just got annoyed with it and cut it off. So it doesn't have a tow rope, okay? So I won't be having a tow rope on my kit. I got annoyed and tore it all off. Okay, and the last step then, okay, will be making up the unditching log. Okay, and that's the final step then, because then it just has us putting in batteries and away we go. So I made up the log. I made up the rails. So I can just put this onto this little yoke here, my little turntable, pretty little turntable. Right. And there she is, all finished. Okay, so I'll just rearrange the camera there. Get that into kind of get a better view of it. Okay, excuse all the noise and the aching and the creaking. Right, now that isn't fitted into place yet because I want to paint that separately, so I can kind of it needs to be painted separately. It's the only thing I think that needs to be painted separately, well, apart from the tracks of course. But here she is. Okay, some better light, there we go. Right, there it is, all completed. Okay, so that's the construction site all nicely done. Right, we have our rails and everything else. I can pop this off now and show it to you. That's all ready now to be painted up and detailed and all that kind of good stuff that we do to it. Right, so that's that really. And we just give it a quick walking preview. Okay, so it works. So I'm happy with that. Hey, what more does a person need? So, if you want to see more of this kit getting its evolution from, say, parts, we've now seen it being made into a kit. Next thing to see is get it painted. So stay tuned to the channel for the next video. In the next video I will be painting up this bad boy. Okay, so thank you for joining me for the build of this fabulous little kit from TAMIYA. It's the World War I Mk.IV male, okay, motorized version of the kit. Now that particular kit comes with a set of 5 figures. I will be doing them up actually, but I'll be doing it all in the painting section, because you don't really just need to see building figures, they're quite straightforward, but we show the painting of them anyway, well, the progression of the painting of them. Okay, so there's the kit, all ready now to be broken down and painted up. So don't forget to join me for the next installment of this fabulous little kit. Okay, I'll see you then, meds. Stay safe, and don't forget, go and buy yourself a kit, build it and enjoy it. So until the next time, stay safe.